Hey guys, welcome back to another Underground Virtuosos video. My name is Paul. I'm a violin viola teacher located in San Diego, California. So today we're going to be talking about how to work on your double stops, how to practice intonation, things like that. Okay, now before I start, I've a couple things I need to say about today's video. So first of all, this is not a kind of like exercise video kind of thing. You would have to incorporate these practices into your own double stop scales or your pieces that you're working on through a double stop passage. These are the kind of practice that you could apply into that. Okay, so today's video is not where you just work on a little bit of a double stop and then everything else is perfect kind of thing. Okay, you have to apply and it will take time when you do use it into your own music that you're playing or scales, double stop scales. Okay. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to be using sixth today. Six, so on the open D and open A string going on these three notes, okay? And we're gonna divide it up into three different things that you can be looking out for when you're practicing your double stops to make it better in tune. All right, now obviously have your instrument in tune. Okay, make sure that's a good thing. And also make sure you have your tuner. A tuner is always helpful. Okay, it can't hurt to have a tuner in front of you just to make sure if you're playing in tune and whatnot. All right, now let's get into it. So the first way to practice double stop is by playing single, single, double. Okay, so with this pattern here, like so. Okay, so with this practice pattern, this helps you to hear the notes by itself, and assuming you are at a intermediate advanced level, that you can start to hear if the note is going to be in tune or out of tune with this practice, and you will be able to then pinpoint, I need to make this note higher, make this note lower, things like that. And it gives you an opportunity to hear two notes separately before you hear it together. Okay, now a couple things. At first, when you start this practice, it's okay to give it a try where you play single, single, and then double notes. Okay, to just find that set up in your left hand. But the goal eventually is to put down both fingers at the same time, something like this. Okay, so notice I am putting down both my fingers at the same time, and I'm not going like 1, 2, and then together, 2, 3, and then together, 3, 4, and then together. It always goes together. Okay, so that's the first practice that you can use to help your double stop intonation. I can tell you that from a teacher's perspective and experience, students often already improve a lot of their intonation and double stops in general just with that practice by itself. Okay, you can apply it to your scales, you can apply it to your sections in your music that requires double stops. Okay, now the next one is you're going to be putting down finger on both notes, but you're only going to be playing on one string with the bow. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to just bow the lower string, okay, to the lower note, but my finger is going to be on both notes. So you can watch my finger carefully here. Okay, now I'm going to play the higher string, okay, the higher note, and the same thing, I'm going to put down both my fingers. right, so as you can see, I'm putting down both my fingers. Now, this practice right here basically takes away one of the note, so you can really hear how one of them is doing when you put in an action. Okay, and this is a very easy way to tell when one of the fingers is consistently too high, consistently too low, and you'll start to figure out your habits. And with this, you will be able to then make sure that every time you know, let's say your second finger is always too high, then every single time you play that same double stop that you know is going to be too high, you just aim a little bit lower, and this will help you start to break your bad habits or habits that you might be hard to tell playing two notes at the same time. Okay, and it will just make it a lot easier for your ear to know, oh, I'm listening to this note and this note only, even though you're putting down your left hand as if you would play a normal double stop. Okay, so that's the second practice, and that really should help you quite a bit along with that intonation. The last one is a nice one. It actually has really nothing to do with the notes with each other, but more so with the instrument. You want to make sure you're in tune with the instrument. Now, this practice won't work for all the double stops, okay? It will work for many double stops, but not, I wouldn't say for all the double stops. So what you're actually going to do is you're going to check whenever possible with your open string. And you can easily start this with the notes that share the same name as your open string, and eventually maybe branch out to playing like major thirds or something like that to help you get better intonation. So you're not just playing in tune with the fingers that are down and in tune with each other, but you're actually playing that in tune with the instrument, which will help the resonance of your notes. Okay, so here we go. So one of the things I can check is my E. Okay, I'm basically listening to make sure that it sounds identical, but just in different register. Okay. And my next two notes is F sharp and D. Now I can check my D with an open D string. So. Right, and my last six that I'm playing is the G and the fourth finger E, and I can check with the open G, right? G to the G. And I can check, obviously, my fourth finger E with the open E string. Okay, and what you're looking for is be able to consistently put down the fingers as double stops, but making sure that they are in tune with your open strings. Okay, now this practice, especially this one, it really is important that your instrument is in tune. Okay, if your instrument is not in tune, you're going to be teaching yourself a wrong double stop intonation. Okay, a wrong hand shape as well. Okay, so make sure your instrument is in tune before you practice. I mean, practice anything, but when it comes to things like this, make sure you're really in tune. All right, so those are the three little tips I have for you. Let's just do a quick brief review. Single, single, double, that's the first one, right? And you can start off by placing fingers individually, but your goal is to be able to go together. Even though you're playing single, single, double, your fingers should be going down together, both fingers, on the single notes. Okay, and then the second practice would be putting down your both fingers for the double stops, but only bow on one of the strings. And this just helps you get a better listening on the single notes that you're playing. Okay, very easy to figure out your bad habits with that practice specifically. And the last one is the one that we talked about, making sure that you can really hear the intonation of your fingers that share the same name with your open strings. Okay, so yeah, so that's it. If you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Any questions, comments, leave it down below, and hit that subscribe button. As always, thank you for watching.